Good morning, Travels with Dottie and Dottie with Dottie here on the 27th of August, 2025. We're quickly running out of August. In today's adventure, this is totally unplanned. I realized I have not been to Mora,
First at a firm called
M-O-R-A.
Oliver Wyman, great firm,
Hang
and then I
on.
ended up working.
That was Taylor Bell on YouTube. I'm going to listen to her a little bit later because I'm just going to do an intro here as I drive out of the park and drive through the village. Because I'm going to Mora, New Mexico, and I'm also going to go on the way there to Guadalupita, and that's where Coyote Creek State Park is. Ooh, what happened there? Let's get that tightened down, Robert. All right, we got to tighten down. It's not going to do that again, is it, Dottie? And can you see Dottie? Can you see Dottie? So, where was I? The Coyote Creek State Park is my favorite New Mexico state park. And they just had renovations that they finished up last year, and I'm going to take you through the new loop and everything. And then we're going to go on, we're going to continue on and go to Mora, which is an amazing little, actually, I'm going to look something up here. It's an amazing little small Mexican-American town. It's got tons of tradition, and it's got tamales in this famous place. It's not actually in Mora. It's near Mora. Teresa's. It's in Cleveland, which is outside of Mora. And is it open today? It closes at 3. So we're gonna get some tamales at Teresa's. So pretty exciting day, don't you think? So I'm gonna turn this to a front view, because I know you all like the front view, and I'm gonna take you through the village of Eagle Nest here. I know if you've seen it 100 times, this would be a good time to go get a cup of coffee, get your coffee. And after we get through the village, I'm going to turn it off, and I'm not going to turn it on again until we're on the other side of Angel Fire. Excuse me, Angel Fire. Because you've seen this drive from Eagle Nest to Angel Fire. You've seen it 50 times. We're done for this season. We're not going to show that anymore, I don't think. Well, no, I got 2 weeks left. I got to do laundry. I'll probably go do laundry in Angel Fire because the last time I did it in Cimarron. But here we go. We've got my museum where I work on Saturdays on the right there, as we're passing that. And it is cloudy and rainy looking, but that's okay. That's okay. I think the rain chances are going to lessen as we go forward here. And it was kind of it's 9:45 in the morning, and I was sitting and thinking, I don't really have anything to do all day. I could sit and watch YouTube and Netflix all day, and that just didn't appeal to me today. Didn't appeal to me at all. So I want to go out and do something. And I haven't seen Mora. And those tamales, my mouth is watering thinking of Teresa's tamales. So that's what we're going to do, gang. That's what we're going to do. And made it through. That's it. That's pretty much all of Eagle Nest, the village. Other than we have the Golden Eagle RV. I think they're calling it a resort now, but it's and I'm not sure it would qualify technically as a resort because there's no pool, but it's a nice place. People just love it there, and you go by and you look at it and go, oh, everybody's all packed together. It's a parking lot. Well, maybe it is, But I tell you, every time I go there and I interview people that are staying there, they rave about it and they come back every year. So many people book there for the whole season every single year for years on end. So there's something. All right, I'll see you when we get on the other side of Angel Fire.
It net positive experience.
This is pretty interesting. Good thing I was paying attention. They don't seem too alarmed by my presence, do they? There they go. All right, well, that was good timing because I'm through Angel Fire and I'm on my way up. We're going to go through a pretty interesting little mountain pass. It's a beautiful drive. I mean, I get it, it's a little cloudy and stuff. But, so, what I was doing while I was gone is I was listening to I listen to YouTube when I'm driving. I don't watch it. I listen to it. And I was listening to a podcast where they were interviewing Taylor Bell. Who is Taylor Bell? And you spell it like it sounds. And she is a 27-year-old YouTuber out of New York City who proves what I discovered over my life. And that is, advanced age does not guarantee wisdom, and being young does not guarantee ignorance. They can be completely independent. And Taylor Bell, as a 27-year-old, is, to me, one of the wisest, most interesting people on YouTube. She's certainly intelligent. And I'm not talking about just raw intelligence. She's intelligent. She went to the Wharton School of Business and ended up at the peak of her business traditional career, ended up at Boston Consulting Group in the New York office. And, I was in the finance world, and actually the consulting business way back when I was her age. And Boston Consulting Group is the pinnacle. It doesn't really get much better than that. So she had the intelligence and the drive to do really, really well. And she ended up quitting that and going full-time into her YouTube journey. And I was listening to her talk on this podcast. And one of the things that she said that she realized so early on, it took me decades to realize this, is that she realized, hey, I'm working for Boston Consulting. I'm very good at my job. And clearly she was. And therefore, being smart and good at my job has gotten me this very high-paying, prestigious position. And she said, I look around and I see people that are really excited about the work that they're doing and really are into it and really care so much about their clients and are just having the time of their life. And she said, and I wasn't. I really didn't care. Ouch. So she realized that I guess when she quit, she's about 25. I was 20 years behind this wise young lady because I was 43 and I was an executive with Dell. I was the director of risk management for Dell Financial Services in Austin, Texas, actually Round Rock, Texas, but it's Austin. north of Boston. And I was very good at my job, very competent. I was treated really well by subordinates and coworkers and the people I worked for. And I didn't have to work that hard. Like Taylor at Boston Consulting Group was, 12, 14, 16 hours a day. I had nothing like that. I had no right to complain about the amount of work I had to do. Basically, it was 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And I was making more money than I ever imagined I could make. I was living in a gorgeous five-bedroom home on a golf course in Round Rock, Texas, with a pool overlooking the golf course. I didn't care. I tried to care, I really did, but I didn't care. So that's when I had, they call it a midlife crisis, and I guess it was, where I decided, you know what? I want to do something that I care about. And I decided, well, one thing I know I care about is I love the idea of being a therapist and sitting in an office and talking to people about things that really matter to them. That I care about. So I quit. I quit my job at Dell, and I did two things. I got like an entry-level position in a nonprofit, sort of doing not real counseling, but like I was helping kids. I've missed this term before, and you don't want to miss this term. The turn to Mora. This is interesting. Seek alternate road closed.
Experience for sure. Like, how cool is it to just get an influx of subscribers and be able to monetize, 2 months or however many months before.
Wow.
I was, hoping to on my own, really.
I'm gonna turn around. I'm just curious. What's happening?
We had really bad rain.
Yeah.
So the roads actually literally washed out.
Oh wow.
So like if you live in this area?
In the summer I live in Eagle Nest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. So like down in a lot of this area, like around miles and down.
Yeah.
It's kind of 7 and 8 like wiped out. There's like a
Wow.
Around the 12, it starts getting real bad.
And there's no real good alternate route, right?
This one right here, this highway right here, just going straight. It'll get you to Mora. Just takes a little bit longer.
Actually, that's where I was going to go to Mora. I'm a YouTuber. I was going to film Mora, so I'll go that way. I've never been that way.
Like I said, you're going to stop them, look for light. That'll take you Mora. And that road's fine.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. So the road is basically washed out. That was a very nice young New Mexico State Trooper who's got the road closed there. But he did clue me in. I can go this way, and I've never done it. Are you excited? I am. I'm a little excited. We're going a new way. We're going through Ocate, O-C-A-T-E. I don't know what that's all about, but this is what we're gonna do. This is gonna be different. Take a little bit longer, he said. That's okay, because it's 10:13 in the morning. So I thought I'd turn it on here just because, well, I was gonna say, because the sun came out. Oh, here it is. as soon as I turned it on at 1 o'clock when the sun's back. And we have a little bit of a valley here that we're coming into, that we're out of the woods. And it looked kind of pretty. And we're getting into a more of a modern looking road here. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. And the kind of huge rock face on the left there. Wow. This is something. This is beautiful. So we're coming, I hope I'm pronouncing the name of the town. If you're from there, I'm thrilled that you're here. It's Ocate, O-C-A-T-E. Ocate is the best I can do for pronunciation. So we'll see what this little town is like. It's about 5 miles away. We're clear in the outskirts. This is farming country, looks like. So I'll be back with you when we get into Ocate. I think this is it. Ooh, there's not much here. I do need to make it right here, but check out this building. I'm gonna guess in its day, this was the general store here. Look at the front of this place. Yeah, check it out. I'm a big fan of old abandoned buildings. And there's not much else. I mean, there are people living out here. Well, there's a big, looks like a big abandoned one down there. Let's go down and take a look. That big one down there. Let's go take a look at that. Post office there on the right. I don't know if that's just a barn or something. Yeah, it's this building right here that looked kind of intriguing from a distance. It looks intriguing close up too. Check it out. Made out of some kind of stone. I think I got it. Look at that landscape though, holy crap. That's something. Look at how beautiful this is. So I gotta pay attention, guys. I don't want to go off the road and get stuck in the mud.
On the more positive side of things, did they watch?
That was Taylor Bell sneaking in there. All right. You see this little building here? Isn't that something?
Like this whole section, so that way instead of the line decreasing.
All right. It's the fire department, looks like on the left here. Let's see what it says. Okay, Ojo Feliz Fire Department. There's a community center there. Remember what I said to you guys? Every little community has a senior center, and believe me, that's what the community center here is. I guarantee you there's the equivalent of a senior center there. Every little community has it, and it's a way you can connect with people in the community that you're staying in. And here's the, what I'm calling the old general store here. And I'll turn her back on. We got 27 miles to go. We'll see you in a few. And we're going to be able to go faster now.
It stays relatively flat.
So there's a little community right here called Oyo Files. Feliz. Very small, but it explains that that was part of the name of the fire department back there. Very, very small community. And there was a sign back there. It's we're 18 miles from Mora and 36 miles from Las Vegas. That's not Las Vegas, Nevada, Las Vegas, New Mexico. And I was just talking about clickbait, and it occurred to me, you know, clickbait's not new. It's the idea of it's not new. I can remember clickbait from when I was a kid for magazines. I think it was Mad Magazine had one cover on it that had a dog with a human being's hand holding a pistol to the dog's head, and the dog's eyes were real wide and shocked. It was a shocking sort of image, but that was to get. And I think it was the same one where the verbiage was steal this book or steal this magazine, something like that. But it was outrageous. And you think about the days of the tabloids, they would have like, you know, alien visit finally confirmed on the front page, right? They would have tons of things on the front of that magazine that you'd see in the checkout line at the grocery store that would cause you to plunk down your money to buy it, to go in and read the article about the amazing thing on the front page, and you'd find out, oh, it's that, not what I thought it was. So clickbait's been around. So I'm still 5 miles from Mora, but there's a little cafe here, like in the middle of nowhere. And these lush trees. The lush trees like this remind me of Mora. This is like what this valley is like here. It's lush and green with these huge trees. And there's the sign for the Mora River is right here in Las Vegas to the left, Mora to the right here. And this is familiar territory. Look up on the right there. I don't know what that is, those old buildings, stone. I've never been able to figure that out or figured out a way up there, but it looks pretty interesting to me. So if you're local and you know what that structural remains are, that would be really great. And I do remember this stretch coming into Mora. I used to come in a lot from Las Vegas into the Mora area, and I remember this like 5 miles is being pretty picturesque, so I'm going to include it. I think I have a memory here of the speed limit dropping really quick as we get into Mora, and I remember going really fast by a state trooper a couple of years ago, and I was lucky he didn't whip around and write me a ticket. It's 45 here. There's a state park in Mora, like right outside of Mora, that is up at high elevation on a beautiful lake. Small sites, think camper vans and tents. And I struggled to see how I could ever camp there with even my little 21-foot trailer. But it's Morphe Lake State Park, I believe it is. We'll see the sign. There'll be a sign for it, but I think it's called Morphe Lake State Park. There's a medical clinic here on the right. Mora Valley Clinic. Community Health Services. And only about 3 miles now to get into beautiful little Mora. Okay, why is this doing? I don't know what that is. I wish I knew. Doesn't know where to pull over. Shit. So here we are coming into Mora. You see what I mean by how lush it is? These huge trees. And 25 miles an hour. I think this was the stretch. I think I was still going about 45 here, and it's 25 miles an hour, gang. 25. And that Morphe Lake State Park is to the left here. see these interesting buildings in the little town here. I don't remember the Dollar General being here, folks. Is that new? That looks new. Like since last year, new. So if you're in Mora, or you come in for supplies in Mora, you have to stop in up here on the right here, the country market. This is ranches and farmers from the area all sell their goods in this little place. Right in there. Farm stand and market, buy local, buy fresh, it says. And they're not kidding. It's no joke. Up here, the Allseps, Valerio. Not only is it a nice little local convenience store, but let's make sure it's still there. Right in front of there are Amazon lockers. So you can get your Amazon packages delivered there. Keep that in mind, because there's nothing around. But I'll tell you something that in Guadalupe, and if you do this, check with her first, but the post office, when I was up there, would take FedEx and UPS packages for me. They don't have to do that. They don't. But they did anyway, and we're almost completely through Mora here. It's a small place, but it's so charming. There's a little car wash there on the left I've never noticed. I don't know if that's new. And over here on the right somewhere, you got to be very careful with where you're going, is a laundromat. I'll go real slow because there's the Family Dollar on the left. That I knew was there. That's always been there. But it's here on the right, and it's easy to miss. And it's laundromat right here. I'll pull in there so you can see it. It's Pando's Laundromat. You see that? You can miss it if you blink. So don't blink if you need to do your laundry. That's the only game in town around here, especially if you're up staying in Coyote Creek State Park. You can come down here and get your laundry done and get your Amazon packages. If you're not getting them at the Guadalupe,
I think at that point I was only
the Guadalupe post office. So we're going to go down here about 3 miles to Teresa's and get us some. And I just looked up when I looked up on the internet. Is it okay? What do you think? What's the advisability of freezing tamales? And they said, absolutely freeze your tamales. It'll be great. So I think I'm gonna buy a half a dozen tamales. Half a dozen. So it's 2.4 miles from here on the right, and it's not in Mount Mora anymore. It's in a different town. So that's not bad. It's not even noon, and we had that. The Cleveland Roller Mill and Museum is over here on the right. I've never been in there, but I understand it's pretty cool down here. Make a right, and pretty interesting place. I've heard a lot of good things about it. There's an RV park out here. A Pendleton Propane Mora office. My buddies at Pendleton. If you've been with me, I love Pendleton Propane. I get my propane in Taos at Pendleton. The great prices. Because an Eagle Nest, it's $32 for a 20 pounder, and if I go to Pendleton and Taos, it's $20 less. So that's a thing to really keep in mind. Propane's a biggie because you can pay a lot of money, more than you need for propane on the road in this lifestyle. So just be vigilant about that. Do your research. Don't spend money unnecessarily. Just another mile up here on the right. D. Cassidy and Sons General Merchandise on the left. That's an old building. They're about 1900, I'm going to guess. Maybe late 1800s, 1890, something like that. You know what? I really think I do want to do the Las Vegas thing. For those Longmire fans, if you can just picture in your mind of the town square that you'd see Walt and Vic and everybody. Here it is. Here it is. And it's closed. Why is it closed? It's closed. I'm so bummed. It said it was going to be open. Hang on. The internet says open at 9 a.m. and it's 11:30 and it's not open. I'll be right back. I'm going to go see if there's anything. Well, Dottie and I are kind of bummed out because they're not open and I can't find an explanation. I called them. And they're just not open today. So it's a family business. Something could have happened or whatever. They're not open. So we're gonna head to Las Vegas. It's 43 miles away, and I'll catch you when something comes up interesting. But definitely, if you're up this way, you want her tamales. Trust me, you want her tamales. So maybe some other time. Maybe we'll find something equivalent on the way. Who knows? Who knows? And this is a way I haven't been to Las Vegas. It says keep going this way. Make a right on 121 and 3 miles. We'll see what that looks like. And I'll get back to you when I see something interesting or I think of something you might be interested in to say. Okay, we've arrived in Las Vegas, and I want you to, if you're a Longmire fan, take a look at what's coming here and see what looks familiar to you. Yeah, how about this?
Next level and hopefully set it up in a way where
There's the hotel. And I want you to look on the other side of this stop sign. See that store that says open? Well, look right there. Absaroka County, Durant, Wyoming Sheriff's Department. You see it? Isn't that great? And this is the spot where you'd see him walking across the street. The town square. And this is not Durant, Wyoming. This is Las Vegas, New Mexico. All right, so I went to Abraham's Tiendenta, New Mexican food to go, and by the reviews were amazing. He had 4 tamales left. I bought all 4, and I said, what's a good thing I can eat while I'm driving? And he said, one of our burritos, and I got a burrito. That's pretty darn good. So, road's still closed, so I'm not going to be able to take you up by Coyote Creek. There's really nowhere to get there today. Going up 25 and through Cimarron was an idea, but that's like 90. It's just way out of the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back exactly the way we came. So we may get some good shots going the other way through that new road we found, and I'll be taking you with me. I'm pretty stoked about everything that's happened today. I think it's pretty cool, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, I'm on the outskirts of Las Vegas, heading back the way we came. But I wanted to show you here Story Lake and Story Lake State Park on the left here. I stayed here last summer for 2 weeks. Very convenient to Las Vegas. You know, super quick to go to the Walmart or go to a restaurant, or even to go by and say hi to Walt and Vic. So we're gonna go over a bridge here. I think you can see a little bit more of the lake off the bridge here on the left. I think you can see a little bit of it. A little bit there. We got some blockage there, I'm sorry. But that's Story Lake, and we'll check in with you. So I'm about 20 miles shy of Kate, and I just turned it on because I thought maybe over this rise it would be kind of a beautiful scenery. We saw this scenery going the other way when it was, I think it might have been sunny through this spot. But certainly the weather has improved steadily all day today. And although I regret not being able to show you Coyote Creek State Park some other time, I'll do that. But with the road closed, it was not possible.
I'm pretty confident.
You keep hearing little tidbits of Taylor Bell. I've been watching her stuff all day, and just such a delight to listen to. And even though I freeze it, I think it's this Radiohead when it hits a bump, sometimes it jerks it, and it's like the touch screen says, oh, someone touched it and wants to continue the video. That's my theory. But I'll turn it on again when we get to that mountain woodsy part. Well, we're on the dirt road stretch, and it almost looks like I'm in Cimarron Canyon. Look at that. I didn't get that view going the other direction. Not much, anyway. And little bumpy here, and we've got another 40 minutes to go. According to, well, I don't know if I trust the time. Pardon me. I don't know if I trust the time. I trust the mileage, 19 miles, and it says 38 minutes, and that would mean I'm going pretty close to 20 miles an hour, and I don't think that's, I'm doing 16 right now, 17. So if I keep this up, maybe, but I don't think so. It's pretty bumpy. I gotta slow down around. I'm just gonna, it says 38 minutes. I'm gonna say more like 50, between 50 and 60 minutes. But that's okay, because look how beautiful it is here. I've already passed one car. So another tip for us travelers is, you know, this isn't wilderness, but let's say it was and I broke down. There's no cell phone signal here. What do I do? Well, one of the reasons I bought, I think it was the iPhone 14, was the first one that had the emergency satellite service. And I have the iPhone 15 now, and it's got that. Plus, you can you can use it to send text messages, non-emergency, to your friends. I've done it. So that gives me peace of mind. I always have plenty of water. I've got half a case of water in the back there. And today, I have 4 tamales. So to keep, we could survive for a while out here. And I've got, I didn't, like I said, I think I mentioned, I'm going to stop and top off the tank. I didn't, but I still got way over a quarter of a tank left. It just, I don't really need that much gas at all, except, the smart thing would have been to top it off. If I got stuck out here, I would have the engine to run the heat or air conditioning or whatever it may need if I got stuck. Now, if I got stuck with an engine that wouldn't go, then the gas wouldn't matter that much, would it? Here's another topic that came up, often comes up. So there are lots of ways to have a home base. The home base I have now is a place that, I've been saying I bought it, but technically I didn't buy it. There's arrangements that you can make where you can actually pay in advance a lump sum for like a lease, and if you're lucky you can get one that it's lifetime, and that's essentially what I did. So it's really, I bought it. Now can I sell it for a profit? No, but I can get the money I put into out of it. So that's one option. There are other options. Buying a place, people ask me, so can I do the same thing you did? Well, no, you can't do exactly the same thing I did, because I did it. You can't do it too. Unless I left the place, right? So, but there are other options. I noticed Rusty 78609, I think that's the zip code that's part of Rusty's YouTube channel. He gets a new home base almost annually, I think. Well, he just got a new one, and he said in his video the deal's 80% done, so it's not 100% done. But what he did was he bought a place in Fort Clark Springs, Texas, small town, and there are lots of places like this. You can do this. There were people selling pieces of land that are set up with full RV hookups, meaning 20 or probably 50 amp service, electric service, full sewer, and water. And in this case, he had 2 big of those metal covers over the spots. With room, you could put in a storage shed. You could probably put in a tiny house. There are all sorts of things. In the neighborhood he was driving into, he pointed out, here's one for sale right here. This guy's selling it for $25,000. Well, if you got $25,000, that sounds like a pretty darn good deal. I mean, what could the utilities and the property taxes possibly be in Fort Clark Springs, Texas? Not much. So if you can whip together that $25,000, you got yourself a home base that if push comes to shove and you can't or don't want to travel anymore, you could stay there for pennies, really, very inexpensively. So versus there are people that don't have a home, don't have a particular home base. They just travel. They're people that travel all over BLM land and National Forest land, and they move every 2 weeks. And a lot of them take a break and do the long-term BLM option in Quartzsite. They can stay there for months, but otherwise they move every 2 weeks, and their housing expense is almost zero. So there lots of, then there are people that say, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find one of those inexpensive RV parks. And you can find them in small towns in the Southwest that are less than $200 a month. There was somebody that just commented that they had one for less than $200 a month, plus electric. And guess how much electric is when you're not there? It's zero. It's nothing. So you can make an arrangement where you can pay, let's just round it up to $200. $200 a month, and I want to just stay there year round. And a lot of places will let you. So that's $2,400 a year. And then when you're there, you flip on the electricity and it gets metered and you pay whatever you use. If you have some solar like us, like me, you'll hardly use any electric off the grid. So that's a easy peasy way to get a full-time, year-round home base that you don't have to be, just because it's there all year round doesn't mean you have to be there year round. My friend Deborah Dickinson used to call it her docking station when she would have a sort of a permanent slot like that. I think it's a docking station where I can like a laptop, I can dock it into the station and hook up to utilities. So there's lots of ways to skin this cat. Now the complicated one is you go and you buy your own piece of land and you try to get the utilities in there to like the deal I was first talking about, Fort Clark Springs. Well, one, keep in mind, not every municipality and county allows that. So keep that in mind. Don't make the mistake. Other RVers have done it. They've bought a piece of land and found out it's not zoned for what they want to do. So they quickly try to resell it because it's not going to do what they want to do, and they inevitably might even take a loss. So be real careful with that. And the other thing he may not realize is how expensive it can be to do things like put in electrical and sewer and hook up to water. It can be very inexpensive, or it can be $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, and there can be impact fees that the county charges you. All sorts of things that can turn into a cheap piece of land can turn into something that costs you one heck of a lot of money. I'm sorry if the picture messed up. I know the camera I didn't get that quite tight enough so it wouldn't bounce back. But those are things to consider. There are also people that have homes or ranches or whatever, and they have a site that they rent out to people that have full hookups. How do you find those? I would go in to find a town that you like, go into the Facebook. Most towns have a Facebook page where a lot of the residents post stuff on social media, and also Facebook Marketplace. And there also national Facebook groups that are all about finding RV spots and RV spots to buy and lease. Just all kinds of options available to you to find a place. You just have to be you need to be creative. Oh boy, it is bumpy. All right, I will check in with you again when if I see something really interesting, like a bear, that would be great, or I get to Angel Fire. Well, I got the restroom taken care of, and we're gonna go into the grocery store. So I'm gonna kind of sign off here as I'm going back to the grocery store. I think we've got a nice long video with some, I think it's funny. I enjoyed this day in this video more than many videos recently. And here's the funny thing about that. I used to assume, well, it'll do really well. I am terrible at predicting what videos will do well, resonate, and what videos will not. It's pretty funny. So it remains to be seen. This video, I think, is going to be published Monday. And I'm going to use Final Cut Pro and my Mac for the first time on a video, and we'll see how I do and see how you feel about it. Dottie and I will see you next time, and take care until then. Bye.